Hello there and happy Bloomsday, and this is a Bloomsday special. If you notice the two posters behind me from the Police box set, Synchronicity, and you have Sting there reading Carl Young, and then this is from the White Album, and the guy who did the photographs is a guy called Richard Hamilton, and he did some artwork. He invented pop art, not Andy Warhol or Roy Lichtenstein, Richard Hamilton. And he did some artwork. He was inspired by Ulysses, and he did some artwork for Ulysses. And so there we go. We've Sting with Carl Young, and Carl Young did meet James Joyce, and he did not like Ulysses for some reason. So there we are. We have a little bit of a synchronicity with a synchronicity. So what I'm doing on this video is I am showing you artists that you might not be aware of from the Irish music scene that are Irish artists within Ireland. And going back into the day from the 70s, my parents would take me around to my sister. They would go to venues like the Glen Eagle in Killarney and other venues as well, Páirc Uí Chaoimh, and just venues like O'Shea's Hotel in Tramore and stuff like that. We'll come to those later. But yeah, there's loads of other artists in Ireland, not necessarily in the rock scene, more kind of in the folk scene, in the country scene. And I do listen to those artists. It's a lot of the music I grew up listening to. I quite enjoyed what my parents were listening to. So we start off with some of these artists. Chris de Burgh, he did Lady in Red. This is kind of an essential Chris de Burgh. And I would recommend albums called Spanish Train and Other Stories, The Getaway and Man on the Line. But this album will do. He's born in Brazil, but grew up in Wexford, which is the county next to where I live, called Waterford. Next is The Commitments. If you haven't heard of them, please do so. Check out their absolutely excellent film. A good kind of eye into the 1980s Ireland, and this is just absolutely fantastic. I saw the premiere of The Commitments in Cork, and it was at the cinema festival, and they got a standing ovation in the cinema, and that never happened to me before or since. So that was quite cool. So I really enjoyed that one, and still do. And I'd give this excuse me, I still have the hay fever, so I do apologize. The Commitments, I give this a good solid 10 out of 10. Highly recommended. Up next, and we'll be doing a feature of Enya's albums on Thursday, is her debut album Watermark. I'm kind of reconnecting with this artist, and she does some fantastic albums and soundtracks with Lord of the Rings. And this is just a really good album to have in your collection. Up next is a chap called We're Into the Country and Western Scene, and we're going to see a lot of country and western albums. A chap called Mike Denver, and this is an excellent album called Cut Loose. I have not seen this artist live, would like to, and I've seen his stuff on YouTube, and he does really good live performances. So this is a good guy to get into, kind of an Irish Blake Shelton, sort of in that sort of style. Up next we have Clannad. This is the band where Enya came from, and this is called Magical Ring, and one of their early albums, and it's just a fantastic album. They're from Donegal, where Daniel O'Donnell and Rory Gallagher come from, and this is Olivia Douglas, very entertaining lady from Northern Ireland, and she does quite a good few songs. I have two of her albums. I don't have her third album out yet, and this album is called Forever Country, and she does a brilliant version of a Bob Dylan song called Don't Think Twice, and I highly recommend checking out that song on YouTube. Up next is kind of the father of Irish country, Big Tom. He passed away a few years ago. Check out his funeral on YouTube. You might be surprised by the by the experience of it. And so he has songs called Four Country Roads and Mother. I can't read this writing, so I do apologize. Four Country Roads is his main song, and My Donegal Home, songs like that, and Tubber Curry, all kind of local songs and a lot of sad songs on it as well. But that's what he was into, and he used to go to a place in London that's called Cricklewood, and there was a big, huge. I forget the name of the venue, but there was a big Irish venue in Cricklewood, and he used to be a top seller at that. And I think when the venue closed, he did the last gig there, and his support act was Nathan Carter. So Nathan is not in this list because he's not Irish. He's from Liverpool, so he'd be in. We'll probably do a video of English country artists, and there's quite a few of those if you're familiar with people like the Shires and stuff like that. Declan Nerney, I saw Declan Nerney live, my hometown of Waterford, in the Hotel on the Quay in Waterford, Metropole, I think it is. And he put on a fantastic show. And he does all these holidays out in Portugal for people to go off in the sunny place of Portugal, and puts on a week holiday for people, and keeps them happy. And he has a lot of songs called, he has songs like Hootie in the Sun and Sea Cruise. Yeah, check out Sea Cruise by Declan Nerney on YouTube, and you'll have a good bit of a crack. Very small guy, and he has this blue Fender which he plays, and he plays it very, very well. And I think he was part of could have been no, it wasn't Big Tom, it was Brian McCall, I think he played with as well. So but correct me if I'm wrong. Paul Brady, Back to the Centre. This guy wrote kind of a forgotten man in Irish music circles, and he did the song to theme to Eat the Peach. He also wrote songs for Tina Turner on her Private Dancer album and on her Break Every Rule album. So well known in songwriting circles as well. So check this album out, Paul Brady, Back to the Centre, one of my £1 charity shop finds. So got that one. Up next, Van Morrison, and he's the worst artist I saw live. I saw him live twice in the Trip to Tip, and he would just literally, if he could have sang behind the arse of the drummer, he would have done so. He was just that non-interactive with the audience, and he just bored me, which was a shame, because if you saw him on the movie The Last Waltz, puts on a completely different artist. But he was younger back then, but wow, it's just literally night and day. Yeah, if you've had that experience with an artist, but I kind of still listen to some of his stuff, and I kind of just view him as a studio artist more so than a live performer, due to my not so very good experiences of him. And I have heard other people kind of say the same thing. Up next is Daniel O'Donnell. I've seen Daniel live a few times, and I've met him afterwards, and a very, very nice chap. And he is who you see on the TV screen, and he puts on a very, very good show. And don't be fooled by what people say about him. And he does tell some risque jokes as well, so that's quite fun as well. So if you get a chance to see Daniel live, please do so. I highly recommend, and this is one of my favorite Daniel O'Donnell albums, so check that one out. If you have a streaming services, these are all great on the streaming services. Up next is the Indians. I've seen them live a few times in Breen, in Somerset, and in Puritan as well. and they put on a great live shows. Although they've broken up, and they kind of we saw them the night before lockdown happened in Puritan at the 37 Club, and I think there's a big, huge digi factory happening around that area at the moment. So I don't think the 37 Club is in action anymore, but they put on great shows, and check them out. They have a full concert on YouTube, and it's filmed in Breen in Somerset, and it's well worth checking out. And they're kind of like almost an Elvis tribute band, and their original singer Noel Brady is absolutely amazing voice. Well, fantastic singer. Their original singer is Joe Dolan, the late Joe Dolan. We saw him live as well. That would, as I said, would bring us to places like Glen Eagle, and we see people like Joe Dolan, the Fury Brothers, all that sort of stuff. And I got Joe's autograph for my mum, and brilliant singer, very, very entertaining. And again, look up Joe Dolan on YouTube, and if you're not familiar with him, I highly, highly recommend. Up next is the first artist I ever saw live, Johnny McAvoy in O'Shea's Hotel, Tramore, with my mother, my father, and my sister, about 5 or 6 at the time. I think he's still going, and very, very good singer. Again, look him up on YouTube, and he does a very good version of Wild Mountain Thyme, well worth checking out. So Johnny McAvoy. Up next is the Wolf Tones, and actually saw the Wolf Tones in 1986, I think it was, and they supported Glenn Campbell, and that's on YouTube, and that's well worth looking up. And they put on a great show, great artists to see live. I think they're still going, or they might have just finished up. I'm not sure. They're going about 60 years or something like that, and well worth your time looking up the Wolf Tones. Up next from my hometown is the Clancy Brothers, and they're just absolutely fantastic. Are not from my hometown, sorry. They do have, they used to own a pub in my hometown, and they own a studio in Ring, which is also in my hometown. They're from Tipperary, and they were discovered by Bob Dylan in New York, and that was cool. And so Bob Dylan played my hometown as well in Waterford, so he kind of brought everything back home, so to speak. And so they're well worth looking up. And again, go on YouTube if you have a streaming service. Check these artists out on the stream. Next is the storage space thing is given out to me here. I hope I can wing this one. Up next is the Dubliners. I've seen these guys live 3 times, twice in Dublin. Once was in the Phoenix Park. A big, huge free concert was put on many years ago, and they were at it. But Ronnie Drew, the lead singer, he kind of had to go off because he lost voice. And then saw him again when they supported. Well, they didn't support U2, but they Pogues did, and there was a song out called The Irish Rover, and they came on to sing what's called The Irish Rover with the Pogues before U2 came on. And then so you had the Pogues, you had Lou Reed, and then you had U2. And they also have their own tribute band called Dublin Legends, who are still going around the place, and I've seen them in Weston-super-Mare, and met them afterwards, and very, very nice guys. So you see Dublin Legends around the place, go check them out. We're almost at the end. We have the Chieftains, and I saw them live as well, actually. Not really live, but well, I did. It was at when I was about 10 or something like that. The Pope John Paul came to Ireland, and we all went up to the Mass in Phoenix Park, and they were playing the music throughout the Mass, and so that's the Chieftains. But also check out the movie Barry Lyndon, and some of Frank Zappa's work features music from the Chieftains as well, and Mike Oldfield as well, and Horslips too. So I don't have the Horslips in this collection, mainly because I don't have a physical copy. I used to have it over in Ireland, but yeah. Then from my hometown, Gilbert O'Sullivan. Gilbert O'Sullivan, yeah, I was going to say Gilbert and Sullivan, but there you go. Gilbert O'Sullivan, and fantastic singer-songwriter who won his claim against the record company who were ripping him off. And he had songs like Alone Again, Naturally, Clear, and songs like that, and just well worth looking up. Again, go on YouTube. If you don't have a streaming service, go on YouTube. If you do, check him out. Well worth having a look at this. This chap, kind of Ireland's answer to Paul McCartney. So there you go. That's Gilbert. And number one is Val Doonican, and he's the man that knocked Sergeant Pepper off the top of the charts. And I'm kind of happy with that. I don't have any Brendan Boyer. Brendan Boyer is from my hometown Waterford, and he had a song called Do the Hucklebuck. He won a competition, the Opportunity Knocks, back in the late 50s, early 60s, and as part of the prize of winning that competition, he got a gig in Liverpool Palladium, and the Beatles were his support act. So he's the only man from my hometown who met the Beatles at one of his gigs, and he also met Elvis Presley in Las Vegas at one of his gigs. So that's Brendan Boyer. But we have Val Doonican, and Val knocked Sgt. Pepper off the top of the charts with an album called Val Doonican Rocks But Gently. So if you stuck out to the end of this long video, well, thank you ever so much. Just me waffling on, and about Irish artists you may know nothing about, but you have YouTube. If you have streaming service, check them all out, and if you like them, you do. They may be your cup of tea, they may not be. That's what it's all about. It's a musical journey. Thank you ever so much for coming on this journey with me, and happy Bloomsday.